University of Dice, welcome back. Dave here. One video this week. Why? Because things are quite busy right now. That's just what it is. I do, you might have noticed, try to have the pattern of a video Monday, a video Wednesday, but real life is just really busy right now, and so that's that. Today I'm talking about basic action cards, BACs, that are AOK. I don't want to leave the impression after that recent video that I hate all basic action cards or that I think they are never worth buying. That couldn't be farther from the truth. I also want to push back a little bit at the thought that, well, there's also characters that are bad that never come out of our binders, but the difference is that characters can at least attack and block. And that's something that no basic action card can really do. But let's get into some basic action cards that I like a lot. We're going to start with these. These are win conditions. They're worth it because, well, they're win conditions. They're so good, you should only need to run through them once or twice, and hopefully the game's over at that point. Your mileage may vary depending on how you structure things around them. Hellfire Gala is obvious. It's actually, I think, the only alternative win condition we have in the game as of now. Villainous Pact, Frontline, they're both winners too, quite directly. We just saw some of that, especially with Pact at Worlds. We've seen it with Frontline before at different tournaments as well. Throne Card, been in the game for a while. Power Surge, they can be win conditions too. They give up to 2 characters Overcrush and an attack buff. How it works is a little different depending on which one you have. You need a little more work to make them go, but particularly in limited formats, they can work nicely. But I could see things you could do with them in constructed formats too. Note, I did not include anger issues here, which I feel is better for the fist gives you +1 attack global than the actual use of it on its own. Getting 1 character Overcrush is not as nice as 2. Other cards I like are actions that replace themselves. So if I have Daily Planet, Investigative Journalism, Investigation, I don't think these are all equal, by the way. I think Investigative Journalism is the best of these right here. You could use, actually, Mutant Research Project, but we'll get to that as well. You have to have a team that's set up for it. But in any case, if I draw this and I roll action, it replaces itself. So, right, energy's energy, there's things we can do with energy, fine. But if I roll the action on Daily Planet, I get more dice to use right now. Same thing with investigative journalism, same thing with investigation. So I think those are really good things. Since they replace themselves, it's actually not an issue to have it on the team. I don't need to worry about it attacking or blocking because it's going to give me more dice that can. And if I get energy, well, the only drawback there is that it's not a specific energy type that I might want for other things. So replacement effects are good. It replaces itself and then some. I like that. Next is cards that impact the board state. There's only one of those right now, actually. We've had them before. Think Imprisoned, for example. Right now that's Mutation, where you can swap a character die in the field with a character that's not a sidekick from that player's used pile, so you can use it A, to get something into the field that you want, or B, to get something out of the field on your opponent's side that you don't want to be in there. You could also use it, I suppose, against Deken, that rare Deken that can do all kinds of things with damage reduction. But yeah, Mutation and its similar polymorph have been relevant before, and I think it could be again. Not a whole lot of those board state cards in there right now otherwise, but I do like this, and this is another type of basic action card that can be worth it because it does disrupt how things are going to be moving forward. Next, I do want to talk about conditional cards. Some previous ones that we talked about could be here too because they need you to build around things in certain ways, but these are sort of special and you want to be doing specific things if any of these are going to work. Mutant Research Program, for example, has that replacement effect like we talked about moments ago, but it requires that you have cards with Founder, actually characters with Founder active in the field, and you get to draw and roll dice. Otherwise, it just replaces itself, just draw and roll 1 die. So it's still pretty good, but you want those Founders to be there to get maximum benefit from it. Keep in mind, drawing and rolling 3 dice is something that you don't get from Daily Planet or Investigation, and this is actually cheaper than both of those. So it actually does more than the 2 of those if you have Founder there. So that could be really nice if you're using Founder. Next up, Living the Dream. Continuous. If among all character cards on your team you have at least 3 loyalty counters, your character dice, all of them, get +1 attack and overcrush until end of turn. That's even better than Thrown Car, or Power Bolt, not Power Bolt, but the other one, which is called Power Surge. Thank you. That's even better than that one. But you gotta be working with loyalty counters. So again, conditional. Gotta be really built for this, even more so than you would the other cards. Finally, Truce. It could be good with a token strategy, particularly something involving the rare Batman. This is where you can KO up to 2 character dice you control. For each one you do, your opponent must KO a character die they control. So that could be something interesting, but again, you gotta be really specifically built for that. That one could also be really interesting with feedback, which is when an opposing character die is KO'd, deal 1 damage to its controller. Pretty interesting, but getting 2 basic actions to roll action at the same time, a little more troublesome. So we're not going to talk about that. Now there is a caveat. Vixen will make sense in a moment. Basic actions require a great deal of attention and care to use. Even ones that appeared in this video, buying them too soon could be a problem, buying them too late can be too, and you have to have your team structured to use them. Even the good ones require a lot of knowledge about how to pilot your team to win with them. And remember, even a weak character can block. Back during that first DC set, Justice League, this card, Common Vixen, was joked about quite a lot. It was memed on. It was for good reason, if you look at just the other 2 Vixens that existed and really any other number of cards. But at least she can be a presence in the field. She can attack. She can block. She can be granted range. You can't try granting an action die range. It ain't going to work. So make sure you're building your teams and figuring out your buy orders and everything out very, very carefully when you do have those basic actions involved. In any case, what did I miss? What basic actions? Talking about the modern format, of course. We could go into a lot with the 100+ basic actions printed throughout the history of the game. But what did I miss? What do you like? Tell me in the comments. Otherwise, we will see you again next week. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. Bye.